Hello guys! In this second tutorial, we're going to learn more Tailwind classes and we're going to be practicing with buttons. I beg you to find a website that doesn't have buttons. Man, buttons are everywhere, you see? There are buttons here. You can go to another website. There are more buttons here. You can go to any website on the internet and you will find buttons everywhere. So it's important to know how to create them, and we're going to be learning some useful Tailwind classes with them. All right. So let's get started. Let's go right here, and we're going to create a button. There we have a button. Let's give it a name. It's going to be click me. And all right, there's the button. There's the text. But as you can see, there's something wrong here. I mean, when I pass my mouse over the button, I can see that the cursor changes to pointer. However, this doesn't look like a button. I mean, I think we're used to seeing buttons something like this, right? These are like the classic buttons in HTML. However, when you apply Tailwind classes to your project, buttons are going to look like this. So they suck. They don't look like buttons. So it's important that we add some classes to make them look like so. So let's start doing that. So we're going to add the class attribute, and here we're going to start writing our Tailwind classes. So let's start with this new Tailwind class, which is background. So we're going to be using BG for background. So when we do that, then we can just type any color. For example, background, and we can go with black. Okay, there it is. Now our button is black. Remember that you can use any color you want. For example, let's go with violet, and let's write I don't know, 700. Ta-da! There it is. As you can see, now we have the background of our button, and this kind of looks like a button. Probably the color of this button doesn't match the color of my background, so I'm just gonna change the text to white in this case, and voila. Now you can see that it looks a little bit better. However, as you can see, my bottom, I mean the letters are too close to the borders of my bottom. So we need to add some padding. In Tailwind, to add padding, we just use the letter P, dash, and then we can start adding. For example, padding of 2. There it is. Now that's so much better. You can add a padding of 5. That's too big. Padding of 10, and so on and so forth. You can also control the padding, for example, horizontally or vertically. If you add, for example, padding X, that's going to control the padding horizontally. And for example, you add a padding of 4, okay? And you can also control the the vertical padding with padding Y, and then, for example, a 2. How about that? I think that looks a little bit better, right? So remember, these are the new classes that we have learned today. The background, that is the same as the text, applies the same rules for colors, but we include the class BG for background. And we today we also learn the padding property, all right? That it can be just with P, okay? That applies for top, right, bottom, left, or you can control padding Y 2, and padding X is going to be 4. Voila. Okay, that looks more like a button, I think. I think that most buttons right now on the internet have these rounded edges, like the border radius. So here, if you want to add some border radius, you just write the word rounded because you want the edges to be rounded. Now you see that the edges of my button are rounded, and you can also control them. For example, if you think that's too much, so you can go rounded dash small. So now it's not even noticeable, but it's there. You say, okay, that's too little, so let's go with more. Or you can go with large, or you can go with extra large, or you can go to like triple extra large. Probably that doesn't work. Okay, that doesn't work. So extra large. Hold on, 17. Oh, okay, yeah, there it is. Two extra large. Yes, it's working. Three extra large, and that now looks more like a button. In case you want this to be fully rounded, you can add the property rounded full. All right. So now you can see that it's completely full. But why isn't it completely full like a circle? Because we added this. So if we delete this, oh, sorry. If we, for example, delete the letters here, okay, you can see that now it's fully rounded. If we include only one, because of the text, this kind of has a different shape, but now you can see that this is rounded 100%. All right. So let's just leave a like we had it before. Click me in case you want to add the full property here. And let's just leave it like that. No, let's just leave it like XL, 2XL, 3XL. Okay, this should be working. Oh yeah, there it is. I liked it better with 3XL. Sorry, but I am a little bit picky with this. Great. So now this looks more like a button. Now it has a background. Now it has a padding. Now it has some border radius for its edges. But now you know that every time you pass your mouse over a button, we have this hover effect with CSS. We can also do it with Tailwind. You can do anything with Tailwind. So how do you do it? It's very simple. We're going to add the class hover. I don't know if it's pronounced hover or hover. Anyways, you add that, and then you add this hover, and then here you continue adding the classes that you want to be applied when the mouse is over. For example, I want to change the background. So when the mouse is over, this would be when the mouse is over, I want the background to be red 500. Let's see. So yes, now it's working. You see? So now I am uh, having my mouse over the button. Voila. It's so cool to do it. You should practice it. You should do this at home. Good, but probably violet or red is not a good color. So let's go violet. It's going to be violet from 700 to 500. Yes, probably this looks more professional. Yeah, so now this does look like a button with a background, with some padding, with some rounded edges, and then with this hover effect. All right, good. Probably something else that you can add here is, for example, not, you see, as soon as I pass my mouse over the button, it changes the color. I want this to be a little slower. So we're gonna have a transition duration. We go duration, and we add say 1000 milliseconds. So you see that now the effect is a little bit slower. Probably I should change this to red so it is more easy to see. So look, it's violet and now it's red. It's violet and now it's red. And it takes 1000 milliseconds to do it. So this is also something you can control with Tailwind CSS. Let's just leave it like 300 milliseconds. Yeah, I like that. I think it looks professional, right? Perfect, great. And look at how many new classes we have learned just practicing with a simple button. We learned background, we learned the padding, we learned the border radius, we learned how to add hover effects, we also learned the duration. Let's add another button to learn something new here. Another button. That would be its name. You see, it doesn't look like a button, but we're gonna help it with some Tailwind classes. So this is gonna have, it's not gonna have a background. This one is gonna have a border, okay? So we just add border, and there it is. You can see it. It has a great color. So And I think it's too thin, so we can make this a little thicker with, for example, border 2. You see? Now it's thicker. A border 4 or a border 8. Oop, but that's too much. Let's just leave it like a border 2. If you just go like border, it adds a thin border. If you want it to be a little thicker, there it is. So border 2. And I think that we should add some padding to all sides. So now you see, now we have a padding. And I would like to change the color of the border because that gray just doesn't match my design. So we can go border, dash, we go for example violet, and we're gonna add 500. Voila. So now we have a nice button right here. Black letters with a violet border. That I don't like that too much. So let's change the text as well. Violet and then 500. Ta-da! That's so much better, don't you think? So, and this is how you can create buttons with Tailwind CSS. So remember, this is how we add background. This is how we add padding. We can You can do it to all sides or just vertically or horizontally. This is how you can add border radius. This is how you can add hover effects and control the duration of the transition. All right. So I hope with this short tutorial you can complete the exercises.